If you haven't finished everything in week 4, stop, go back and finish it. Just like every other week, this is going to build off what we've completed so far. So you really want to have everything else done. So in this week, we're going to start looking at how to save some money and how to start building some long-term wealth. So the first off, we're going to talk about saving money. So you'll want to work through the workbook, and what we're going to do is we're going to start building your emergency fund. Now, I want to give you some background information on this. The average American is saving about 3% of their income. 3%, that's it. That is absolutely horrible, but that's how it is. So, in other words, if you take all your money that comes in, 97% of it immediately goes out. It's gone. So, vanished into thin air, basically. So, in reality, I guess it's going to paying your bills, your food, buying things, whatever you need, but you can do better than that. You should not be losing 97% of your money or more every month. So to give you some background on me, after I graduated high school, I went on this adult kick and I wanted to start saving money and being more responsible. So I headed down to my local bank with $500. I opened a certificate of deposit, CD, at the bank. And I left it in there for 6 months. So over those 6 months, it gained about 2% interest. And even today, that is high for what a bank would give you nowadays. And that is still absolutely terrible. There's much better ways to save money now. So this is where we're going to go with this chapter. We're going to learn about saving money. We're going to be investing. So this is where wealth building begins. Remember, it's not what you make, it's how much you keep. You're most likely never going to build any wealth if you don't save any money. So if you don't pay yourself first, you're never going to get anywhere. If you want financial security, you have to save. So think about the next time your car breaks down. How are you going to pay for it? Are you going to reach for a credit card? That only makes things worse. Now, imagine this situation. Again, you've got $1,000 sitting in your bank savings account for emergencies. It is your emergency fund. Your car breaks down. What do? You just go to your account and you withdraw some money to pay for your repair. And then because you're automatically saving already, it builds itself back up. The peace of mind you get from having an emergency fund or any kind of savings really is priceless. It's amazing. You're no longer on the brink of financial disaster all the time. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to start building your emergency fund. And you're going to want to go through the workbook, and it's got everything you need to start doing that. Just scrolling through it a little bit, we're going to talk about getting to your first 100, your first 500, and even your first 1,000. On top of that, you'll have a savings plan inside the book. You'll see everything you need to get to $1,000. And this is a recommended plan. And you're welcome to change it, do things differently. But if you follow this plan, it's fairly easy to get to a $1,000 emergency fund within a few months. So then, after we talk about savings, you're going to move on to investing money. And investing money is very important. So this is separate from your emergency fund. There are so many millennials not investing today, and it's a real shame. If you even just put a small amount of money into investing, it can lead to a huge amount of wealth over time. And the easiest place for most people to start investing is simply by enrolling in your company's 401k plan. If you have not done it yet, you need to do it. Most companies offer it. So please, please, please get enrolled as soon as possible into your 401k. So I highly recommend contributing at least 10% of your income from your job to your 401k. And here is a cool little thing about your company's 401k that really helps you do this. So let's say if you contribute 6% of your income, your company will often match a portion of that. So for example, if you contribute 6, they will contribute 3%. So when you add the two up, That's 9% of your income being contributed to your 401k. That is great. 9% savings right there on the dot just by signing up for your 401k. One of the best things about it is when they take it out of your paycheck, you never even miss it. It goes in and it's immediately gone before it even hits your checking account. So it's a great way to start saving and investing. So once you're enrolled, you need to invest the money that you're putting into your 401k. Even though you're putting into a 401k, it's basically just a fund to hold the money. Then you got to choose what you're going to invest it in. And you're probably thinking, I have no idea what to invest in. That's too hard. It's not that hard. And I've got the answer for you. So what I do is I invest in what they call the S&P 500 Market Index Funds, or ETF funds. So basically what this is, it's a way to invest in the entire stock market in one fund. And even better, the fees are so low on these things, it saves you tons of money over your lifetime. So my personal 401k, 100% goes into an S&P 500 index fund. And that money is invested in the entire stock market. So when the stock market goes up, my entire portfolio balance goes up. When the stock market goes down, it goes down. But over time, history has always shown that the stock market goes up about 10, 11% a year, depending on the average. So you're always gaining money over time, over long-term time. You can't think of it in short-term time. So it is a great way to build long-term wealth. I'll give you a little story. Back when I first started getting into 401ks, I ended up getting about $40,000 into my 401k. They ended up letting us invest in stock market. Now, I'm not saying you should do this. I'm saying stick with S&P 500 type funds. But in 1 year, that money doubled from $40,000 to $80,000. The stock market has huge potential to make money. So you may not get that kind of gain, but an S&P 500 is fairly safe, it's steady, and it's long term. So you'll be growing on average 11% each year. That's a good steady growth over time. So that's where you should start. And there is even more options out there. In this workbook, we're going to talk about Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks. So you're going to learn all those terms that you've heard and they sound like boring money jargon. I'm going to break it down very simply, and then you'll know exactly what to invest in, how to invest, and you will start becoming rich. I mean, you will build wealth over the long term that you never thought or imagined you could. And it's very passive and automated. It's a great way to invest. So just going back to the workbook, let's kind of browse through here. We're going to learn about 401ks versus Roth 401ks, the company match, different types of funds, S&P 500 index. I'll even talk about another type of fund, age target date funds. How much to invest. I highly recommend contributing at least 10% ideally to your 401k. And then you want to put at least 5% to your emergency fund. Then we'll talk about some IRAs, Roth IRAs, how to invest in those. And then you'll be on your way. It's really great way to build wealth. So grab your workbook and it's time to take some action. So open your workbook, open your roadmap, and complete all the action steps laid out in there. It'll work you through each step. So have fun, and I will see you in week 6.